Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. What's going on today? Well, it seemed like it's going to be a pretty good day. Checked my blood sugar levels this morning and it was at 111. Or was it 113? Hey, one of the two. So that's a plus. Oxygen levels, check that. I'm still holding strong at 95. And being a previous smoker, notice I said previous, almost 4 years now, long-term smoker too. I consider that excellent. I didn't check my blood pressure, but I feel like it should be close to normal. And I feel fairly good, but just didn't have this vertigo. That's probably the most disturbing thing I've ever experienced in my life. I talked to the doctor about it, and she said it's just an adjustment that it take time to adapt to. And I looked at it on Google, and there's really no real treatment for it. Unless it's like an inner ear infection or something like that, which I don't have. So, but overall, I'm not complaining. I'm just filling in some updates, what's going on as you get older. Some people don't experience these things, some people do. Everybody's not the same. And I know that. Okay, on the other hand, my backup internet is absolutely zero now. There was there for the longest time. At least I could send messages back and forth, and it took forever to see a picture. Of course, at one time it was really good. Well, yesterday I disconnected the cables and used my own meter on it. I don't know if it's an antenna problem or a cable problem. It's got two cables going to the antenna. And one of the cables is reading a dead short. And considering that these cables now, since we renovated the house, are concealed, so there's no way to actually visually inspect the cable all the way to the antenna. Now, I want to take the antenna down this weekend, hopefully, if everything goes as planned. And I want to manually test it also and inspect it, see if there's any issues in that category. It's possible that the feed horn is actually, over time, damaged by insects or whatever. It's a strong possibility. And also, I'll check the readings on the other end of the cable to see if it is a cable issue. Well, because it's got connectors at the antenna. I'll disconnect the cables and I'll check them at that end, and also the antenna itself. But I got this funny feeling I want to replace it all. If that holds true, I'm probably looking maybe next month, maybe. That's a pretty expensive antenna. With shipping and everything, it's a little over 6,000 pesos, which is roughly a little over $100. That includes the cables. And that antenna's been up, I think, 6 years, maybe. And it has served well, considering, always before I could dial that thing in and get decent internet up to around 6 p.m. in the evening to around 8 p.m. Those 2 hours, it would drop off almost to nothing, because the tower that I get my service from is the only one I can actually get signal from. Get so busy, I'm so far out, I'm put on the back end of the list, as they say. But I could live with that. At least I had the internet when my fiber was down, which is down quite regular. It was off yesterday several times. You know, the best sad part about it is nobody here in my area can notify our provider when the fiber's down, except for me when I had my backup. And they would promptly try to get it fixed. Depending on what time of day, complained about it. Same day or the next day. So much for that. And renovation downstairs has come along. They've got most of the tile laid now. They soon will be assembling the cabinets for the sink and countertop. They've got 2 cabinets that with stainless steel tops to give them a kitchen area, or a kitchenette, I would call it. The downstairs renovation is going to be more like a studio apartment. Kitchen, bedroom, living area, basically what it'd be. Of course, we're going to extend the covered area, so they have an area outside that they can entertain guests and so forth, and have a place to sit out without staying cooped up inside all the time. We stopped by yesterday and paid for material that was ordered, cement and so forth. And they're doing a walkway on this side around here. When it gets finished, I'll be able to go down personally. During this rainy season, the walkway that they use, they're just too slippery for me. I don't want to gamble on falling and breaking a hip or something. They're just too dangerous for me, and I'll just stay up here. But from the pictures and so forth I've seen, it looked like look pretty nice. Grace's sister and mom is who this is for. Of course, most of it's been covered by Grace's sister's fiance, which is, as you've seen in prior videos, he's under chemo and he's struggling. You know, it's a time of life that you don't know what your outcome's going to be. That's hard to imagine for those that has not experienced it. And now I've experienced it with my oldest son when he was 5-year-old with leukemia, and went through 3.5 years of chemo. And of course now he's 37 and doing great, and which I'm happy for. And you know, so I wish him the best of everything. You know, I wish he could have been able to come here. I do miss his company. Now, we enjoyed sitting here and, as I would call it, having our BS moments, a few laughs and reminiscing over past events and so forth. And it was very entertaining. So that's where we're at on that. Tomorrow, if everything goes as planned, I will get my annual service work done on my van. I've already got the stabilizer links and bushings for the sway bar, front sway bar. I've got when I hit a certain dip a certain way, a certain speed, I got a little thump, and I'm pretty sure it's those bushings. And here, where the road's so bad, we go through stabilizer links at least once a year, sometimes twice. They're just rough. And I'm sure it's had its toll on those bushings too. And I've got a little brake noise. So I've got new brake pads coming, a different brand. It costs a little more. I want to see what they will do. I have experience in the past on those front pads, especially when we take it to like Don Salvador, which is a pretty good incline, and coming back, you get the brakes pretty hot. Even though I use engine braking, still the brakes get pretty hot. And those brake pads might have shattered again. And I've had a set to actually crack and break up. So it's possible. So I want to be prepared for that. And I've noticed that I've got more brake travel than I should have, which means my rear brakes, the self-adjusters, are not working correctly. Now, I had the rear shoes replaced last year sometime, I can't remember, and I had to transfer the arms over to the new shoes. And I got a feeling like maybe those were worn out when I grabbed the adjuster, because I have no part brakes, they call it, to mount anything. It holds a little bit, but nothing like it did when they first set it up. And when I'm backing up, especially with the load, you have to put a lot of pressure on the brakes to get it to hold. So I want to try my best to get that taken care of. And of course, time for a good old oil change. I use pure synthetic oil. I checked the oil the other day. It's still riding the full mark, and got close to 5,000 kilometers on it. And so I'm not complaining about that. Coolant level, it's good. Finally got that problem solved, as I've said in the past. And I'm very happy overall with our little van. It performs well. It ain't eat up with power, but it does pretty good. It's a 3 cylinders. I won't complain, and it's a box. Pretty simple. It's not aerodynamic, and they have to work hard to maintain, a steady speed. But I've noticed that if I can maintain between 70 and 80 kilometers per hour, I can get the fuel consumption up to, down to, or whatever you want to call it, between 14 and 16 kilometers per liter, which works out close to between 30 and 40 miles per gallon, which is excellent in my book. I'm getting all this work done because Grace and I have planned and prearranged rooms for February the 5th, which is our anniversary. Excuse me. It'll be our 15th anniversary. And we're going to take, from my knowledge, 3 days to get away from everything and take a break, rest our minds, get our heads clear, and hopefully make this a very productive year. Now, next on the agenda, to inform you, is if you're curious about our chickens, we eliminated, I think, a dozen, and we did butcher and put some in the freezer, and it made no difference on our egg production. It's still the same. I had a comment that says, the Rhode Island Reds are a heavy chicken and they're not very good in the tropics. That may be true, but there's people that raise Rhode Island Reds here in the Philippines and having very good success. My conclusion is that they're not getting the proper diet, and we have changed that. So we'll see if that makes a difference. It's going to take a little time to find out. We added cracked corn mixed with their normal feed, and we see what happens there. The cracked corn should give them more protein and more energy, which, they're very active. But we'll go from there. And I'll start my breeding cycle sometime next month again. And we've got a group of baby chicks now in the brooder box. They're getting big, almost big enough to transfer. They're almost a month old. And they've been doing very good. I think we had 2 total we lost, which is expected, because I know when they were born that they're weak to begin with. So I wasn't shocked with that. But they're doing good. I just checked on them before I started my video here and give them some additional food. They're very active and seem to be very strong. There we go with that. But anyway, folks, I really appreciate each and every one of you all. I thank you very much for staying with the channel and following. And hopefully everybody out there has a very productive and prosperous year. This is a brand new year. And we've got a positive attitude. We think we can make some changes here to make things even better. So I'll keep you in touch. And thank you again. Until next time, I'll see you then.